Chicago, welcome to the Chicago Sports Podcast presented by PointsBet. Use that code CHGO to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. I am Kevin Kaduk, joined by my co-host Luke Stuckmeyer. Kacy Standohar will also be stopping by a little later to talk social, and we're being led, as always, by the man on the mic, Lawrence Benedetto. Hi, Lawrence.
What's up? How you doing? Yeah, I've already screwed up. I accidentally pressed the wrong button when we started. So the music went out, so that was fun. Anyways, whatever. It's 11 in the morning. It's fine.
Well, I want to thank everyone for their support of last week's relaunch of the Chicago Sports Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the new look and the new format. We thought it was a lot of fun. Got some good feedback, so we're deciding to do it again this week. If you're listening to this on another CHGO feed, make sure you check us out on our own. Go ahead and subscribe on your favorite podcast provider. And for the rest of you, you know the drill. Smash that like button. Give us a good review. Go buy a new QB1 T-shirt. We appreciate your support here at CHGO. On today's show,
I'm just going to quickly jump in here. We've got multiple people in the chat who believe this is a Bears show.
Oh, well, we're going to be talking Bears.
Talk Bears, yeah.
We will talk Bears. This is not the Bears show, though. That is at 6.
That's no reason to leave.
Tonight,
and I can't prove it, but I've been told we're the #1 podcast in America. I do not have the numbers to back that up yet.
That is
I don't think we're the #1 podcast in this building, Luke.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Not what I'm told.
All right. Anyway, here's what we are talking about on today's show. We are talking about the hopes and dreams that Justin Fields instilled in us after Saturday night's performance in Cleveland. We are talking about the medical absence of Tony Larussa from the South Side. We are talking about jumping in that dirty-ass Chicago River. We're talking about having sex at baseball games. And we're talking about the most disappointing season in Chicago sports history. So if you want to stick around with us, we would appreciate it. We're going to have a lot of fun over the next hour. Is that too much to promise, Luke?
That's a buffet of ideas right there. I don't know which one excites me the most, but it's a rough group. It's a rough group.
All right, let's get into headlines. We're talking about the week that was in Chicago sports and the week that will be. The first one is everyone is excited about Justin Fields. We're coming off this Cleveland Browns game. He was really amazing. 14 of 16 for 156 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 146.9 against the Browns defense, which admittedly was not at full strength. No Jadeveon Clowney. No Myles Garrett, no starting 2 cornerbacks for the team, but he looked pretty good. Luke, did you get a chance to check out the performance?
I mean, I did, but again, there is nothing to this. It was the preseason. They didn't play like their 4 best defensive players.
Yeah.
They didn't have one of the best pass rushers in all of football going after him. So you just can't put a whole lot of stock in it. It's better than the alternative. It's better than him throwing 3 picks against a Browns defense with nobody playing. But, I mean, I can't put a ton of value on it and say, well, that's it. See, he's proven it. We've turned the corner.
I will put all those disclaimers up there, but I am a person who generally starts to I like to lead a parade when the Bears do anything right. And watching Justin Fields out there complete passes at 10 different receivers, really work on that footwork, which has been a focus for him and Luke Getsy all offseason long. I mean, the way he was lining up and hitting some of his receivers was really what you want to see from him. And all in all, over the entire – he didn't play a lot in the preseason, but his preseason stats check out like this: 23 of 30 for 243 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 133.1 passer rating. That dude is lining up for your fantasy team, and he does that on week 1. You're going to be feeling pretty damn good about yourself, Luke.
I mean, are there guys on the Bears that I'm looking forward to watching playing that I'm hopeful for? He's at the top of the list. Justin Fields is at the top of the list. We all know that the problem is they haven't really surrounded him with a ton of talent yet.
He threw passes to 10 receivers. How many are still on the team? Are they all still there?
Right.
I don't actually remember the answer to this.
Did
anyone get cut? No?
What did you say?
Did any of the 10 receivers who he threw passes to get cut yesterday?
That I don't know.
I can't remember.
Isaiah Coulter did.
See? Yeah. So.
Are you blaming Justin Fields for that?
I am not. No.
But they took Vegas took the Bears win total from 6.5 at a lot of places to 6.
Yeah.
Even after that preseason game. I tend to believe Vegas more than I do my heart. Like if Vegas
I really want that to get to 5.5 because I'd feel pretty good at betting it over at 5.5. 6.5, I just really don't know how to feel about that. I don't want to put my own money out there.
They're trying to sucker people in with the heart right there. The Bears fan that's still on the fence thinking, you know what, 6.5.
Don't read the ringer.
I at least get a push if it's at 6. I need it to drop to 5.
We're going to know pretty quickly in week 1. The first game is at September 11th, noon at Soldier Field. They're playing the San Francisco 49ers, who have a front seven, that's among the tops in the league. The Bears run a system that, the Niners do, so it's going to be very familiar. We're going to know very quickly. But I think, Luke, going into the season, we want to see growth from Justin Fields, and we did see growth from the start of camp to the end of the preseason. And now it's like, okay, can you see this over the next 17 weeks? And we don't need this to be a playoff season. Would it be a bonus if it somehow happened? Yes, but we don't need it. But we do need those 6, 7, 8 win seasons, and we need the Bears competitive in each game. And honestly, with this system and the scheme and what they've kind of put out there, I feel like they can stick with it. Now, maybe it gets blown up against San Francisco and Green Bay, but it's a long season, and I think some of the building blocks are there, and it seems like we finally have some adults in the room.
Yeah, but Kevin, the problem is the word growth. Like, we all say it, but we can't define exactly what that growth is for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see that growth be so obvious that everybody can tell one way or the other, this is it. Like, if he has 3 times as many touchdowns as he does interceptions, or he just looks spectacular, he has big play after big play every week, I just don't think that's as likely as the other scenario where we have to look for growth in things like, is his footwork better? Is he getting rid of the ball faster than he did last year? That's a big one, right? Like, even in college, he didn't get rid of the ball very fast.
He's still kind of abandoning that pocket a little quickly, but I think that's kind of like comes with the territory of being a second-year quarterback.
And it's finally going to be by design again this season. Like, we wanted that last year. So some of it's going to be a little more difficult to see. I just think it's going to be difficult to grade that growth unless it's obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to be able to or not.
I feel like that for me, the way to define it is like, are you elevating these players? This is not a grade A receivers room. This is Darnell Mooney and a bunch of dudes. So is Justin Fields the type of guy who can elevate a receiver room? I mean, obviously Aaron Rodgers has done it year after year in Green Bay, other than Devontae Adams, right? It's just been dudes, right? So do you do that? Do you limit mistakes? Do you win games? Are you able to pull out a game in the third or fourth quarter? Can Justin Fields do what we saw in the quarter 4 against Pittsburgh last year? Can he do that in more than one game? To me, that's the growth. I think that's pretty definable. So we'll see. So I would say you are not that bullish about. We're going to say, are you bearish or bullish about Justin Fields?
Yeah.
Going to 22.
I'm more bearish about it just because of what they did in the offseason.
Okay.
Which was not a whole lot.
So not so much on him, but
I still believe in him. I think it's going to be difficult for him to show that this season, which is unfortunate.
Okay.
But that's just the way it is. I think next year will be a better chance to grade that evaluation.
So I'm feeling a little bit more bullish after Saturday night, but we'll see.
CJ in the chat was telling me, "Hey man, the Bengals were 6.5 over/under last season."
That's true.
Yeah.
So Vegas can be wrong, as 8 Hours said, but
they had a legit receiver core. They had spent great money in the offseason. Like, the Bears didn't do any of those things.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow's pretty awesome.
I think we're still a year away from the Bears being a true surprise team, but we'll see. Right now at PointsBet, Justin Fields is an 80-1 shot to win the NFL MVP. Those are the same odds as Baker Mayfield with the Panthers and Cooper Kupp as the Los Angeles Rams.
I mean, I'd take Kupp out of those.
I would take, if I had to choose one of those 3 guys to waste $80 or $100 on, it would be Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no way a wide receiver is winning.
No, I agree, but Justin Fields isn't winning MVP either.
Baker Mayfield. I would take Fields over Baker Mayfield.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the Panthers are going anywhere. Although, don't read the Ringer this morning, because they did their 10 bold-ish predictions of the NFL, and one of them was like, and the surprise winner in the NFC North. So I was like, ooh, scroll. Yeah, no, it's not the Bears. They have the Bears as one of the worst 2 teams, along with the Bears South, the Falcons.
Okay.
So they think they're going to be drafting first or second. So
who's the surprise? The Vikings?
The Vikings.
Yeah.
And good luck with that, Kirk Cousins.
I don't hate a surprise Vikings bet just because there's value there, but I wouldn't want to sit there all year and root for the Vikings to cash in on that, right? Like, a man has to have a code.
Exactly.
So. All right, moving along. Tony Larussa is out indefinitely on the advice of his doctors. He's back in Arizona getting checked out for his heart. Obviously, want to wish Tony well. What do you make of this?
I mean, first of all, it's scary. I'm like, being the host of the Cubs podcast, we'll take our occasional jabs at the White Sox just to, poke the bear a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's been easy to do, but you're talking about someone's health, and it sounds fairly serious first of all, you hear the word cardiologist. That's serious. And then doctors are telling him, no, you were already at the ballpark, but you're not going to stay at the ballpark, and now you're going to Arizona after more tests. So,
yeah,
again, you're just hoping that he's healthy and that doctors can get whatever's going on under control. It's bizarre.
The thing that kind of stands out to me is, obviously Tony La Russa has his share of detractors, a lot of them in Chicago right now, particularly during the season. But I think people do say, I think people kind of expect, Tony La Russa doesn't want to win as badly as you do. And I think he does, if not more. And if you kind of read up on Tony La Russa and how he kind of goes through every game, and how he's done it for the last 40 years. I mean, this guy wears it after every single game and every single night. And
sometimes too much. And
right. And you kind of almost wonder if, this season, obviously he's 78 years old, things are going to catch up to you either way. But, how could you handle the stress of this season on top of everything else? And it kind of just really makes me wonder. I don't think we're going to see him back ever. And
I agree with that. That if I had to bet, will he manage again for the White Sox? My guess is no. And I agree with what you're saying. He clearly wants to win. He's very competitive, or he wouldn't be where he's at. He wants to win. I'm not sure I believe that he's putting in the same effort as much as he wants to win. I can want to win the lottery, but if I don't buy 1,000 tickets, am I having as much chance of winning the lottery as if I'm buying one ticket every 70 years?
Right.
No, there's a difference there. I want to win it, but you have to put in an effort to go do it. And I think the older he's getting, the less effort maybe that's going into it. But again, right now, number one thing everybody hopes for is that he just is healthy.
It's a tough job. It's a tough job for somebody half his age and to stay on top of everything. And you're playing against 2 leagues now, and it's not kind of what he was doing
Game has changed
20 or 30 years ago.
Yep.
So I don't know.
He should have never been higher.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So I guess we'll see. It's do you see Roger Bossard now is out with hernia surgery? So literally everybody is associated with the Sox has some sort of medical malady.
I thought the sod looked different the other day.
I hope Vinny, Herb, and Sean are taking care of themselves. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, really.
All right, moving on. Big win last night. Playoffs, Chicago Sky toppled the Connecticut Sun down at Wintrust 85-77 to even that series at 1, send it back out east in the best-of-5 series. Kind of like history repeating itself. The Sky dropped Game 1 against the Liberty, came back and smashed the hammer on the Liberty in Game 2 and never looked back. Candace Parker, I mean, everyone right now is watching Serena Williams, and for good reason. It's her last dance at the U.S. Open, and hopefully she can make a run. But what Candace Parker is doing right now is kind of almost akin to the same thing. I mean, she is just an absolute beast out there.
Well, I believe the kids say she's got that dog in her, right? Isn't that the saying right now?
Hell
She's
yeah.
got that dog in her.
Hell yeah.
There's
hit
a
that
lot of
three-pointer and just kind of gave that look in the game when she hit the floor. Wanted her teammates to come over. That was a pretty cool moment. Mm-hmm. Really, this game, though, if you just look at the box score for it, I think they had 7 or 8 more free throws made in that game, and that's the score difference. If you look at
it, wasn't that close though. They
no,
were
it
up
wasn't.
for a while,
but statistically, a lot of the things were points in the paint were, rebounds were
Right.
close, field goal percentage was close, 3-point percentage was close. The one that really skewed was free throws, but it felt like it wasn't as close as it was.
I think all 5 starters were in double digits for the Sky. I mean, when you look at this team, I mean, they're as balanced as when you watch and you're a fan of a team. This is as balanced as you want. You watch the Sox, they have obvious holes. You watch the Bulls, they have holes. The Bears have a lot of holes. The Sky are just a really well-built team. They win the championship last year. They go out and they add Emma Miesemann, and you watch what she's able to do out on the court and what she brings. That's probably the best signing a post-championship in Chicago sports history. So credit to James Wade, who is the GM and was also just named Coach of the Year in the WNBA.
Opposite.
Because
Executive of the Year, not
Executive
Coach
of the Year.
Becky Hammond gets Coach of the Year.
Oh, okay.
But hey, Kev, how about us yesterday? Look at us. Look
I
at
know.
us.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah, I saw
For
that.
those not watching the stream, that was Kevin and I on the roof of this building, which is not a great idea, but we were both wearing
fine.
our CHGO Sky shirts in front
Twinning.
of the Sears.
You can get that at the CHGO locker. We're moving a lot of those shirts. We had the big sale last week, and a lot of Sky shirts went out the door because people are getting ready for the title run. We're hoping, at least,
including me. Yeah.
Buy your CHGO Sky shirt at CHGO locker. Do you want to show the QB1 that we just dropped too?
Oh, yeah, that's
I was
sick.
going to
Pretty
get
sweet.
to that.
We're selling a lot of those.
Sick,
yeah,
too.
I just don't have that available at the
So-
moment. So give me a minute. Well, here I could go. I
The
guess I could
Sky
go back
one
here.
just feels summer, doesn't it? Just did
Oh,
you
there it
feel like
is.
summer when you see that shirt?
It's a very nice
Yes,
shirt.
the
yeah.
shirt's
It's
amazing.
got a bright blue. It's got some bright yellow in it.
It was a great day to be
Oh,
up
yeah.
on a roof with Lawrence.
Yeah, it was wonderful. You know,
I was hoping he wouldn't throw me off.
Now,
He
Luke,
didn't.
Luke, here's the deal. Did you know that Kevin Kaduk is a diva?
A diva?
Oh my gosh, Diva Duck! Holy moly,
Diva
You
Duck.
should have
That's
seen
his new name.
You
want-
should have seen how many photos he
Look.
made Greg take of
Oh,
us.
here it
I
is. yeah.
knew,
There were
and
15.
you could bring in Casey right now. Early,
I have to bring
I
Casey
knew
in
that
there?
if I sent her a shot that was not up to her standards, that she would send us back up on that roof.
I don't know if I'm on, but
There
if
you
I-
are.
If
Now
I
you're
am
on.
on,
Now
it
you're
is
on.
true, and I like how you guys centered the Sears Tower. I'll call it the Sears Tower.
It's the Sears.
Yeah,
Sears.
it is.
right
It
in the
is.
middle
Don't-
of you both with the Sears Tower on the shirt
apology
too.
needed.
It really worked. I was aesthetically, I was pleased.
Oh,
with the
thank
photo.
goodness! Thank
Good work.
goodness it was up to standard, and the first 14 were just clearly not.
Right. I mean, I will admit that when I saw the picture, I thought, oh, well, that's nicely lined up with the Sears Tower. It
Yeah.
is a good shot.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it took 4.5 hours. So,
Yeah, I felt like
Lawrence, I do
like
apologize
4.5
for that.
minutes.
4.5 hours they were
By
up
the,
there.
by the
taking that
way,
one
Luke,
shot.
who
Beautiful
would
sunset, though.
Who would you guess was the photographer for that photo?
I'm going to go with Jake. Jake took that picture.
Jake was not here yesterday. It was none other than Greg Boyson.
Oh,
Man of many
Greg.
talents.
Well, he gets all the credit.
Yeah.
You guys can pose all day, but the photographer's got to get the angle right.
He definitely
lighting.
did a little bit of a lean to get that.
We'll
Did
be-
you have a
between
at
us.
what point did Kevin request the reflector that we had to go out and get?
Well, that
You know,
was
the
about
light reflector,
9
like the
photos
big-
in. Yeah, that was. In the,
I know that's why it took an extra hour and a half
When we
because
got
we're
the
waiting
double
for the
digits.
reflector to come in
Yeah.
from West Loop.
We'll be putting a star next to Greg's photography
ignores it.
skills on his quarterly review. So look forward to that. All right, finally, college football is underway. Northwestern and Illinois both got victories last week. Due to different circumstances, Northwestern is really, really happy that Scott Frost is coaching Nebraska football right now. The state of Nebraska feels the opposite.
Not happy.
This week's big game is Notre Dame at Ohio State. Notre Dame is 5th. Ohio State is ranked 2nd. And I'll be honest with you, Luke. Like apart from Wisconsin football, I'm a Badger alum, so I'm in on those games. The college football does not do it for me as much for me anymore. Notre Dame goes into the horseshoe 17-point underdogs.
Yeah, I know. And at one point it
a
was like
3-team
17
difference
and a
in the
half or
rankings.
18.
Come on. Like, if I'm going to invest 4 hours in something, like I want at least a guarantee that like something like unexpected might happen. Like we know the Buckeyes are going to win.
Well, I mean,
I
if
think we do.
if Notre Dame wants to finally put their stamp on, like, hey, we're not just another team that's in the conversation but never going to win it type thing anymore, this is it. Go out and start your season by beating Ohio State. I was reading about the game. It's just like they have so much less talent. If you look at like high school rankings and where guys were last year on their team, they have way less talent than Ohio State. Go out and win one.
Yeah.
Go out and win a big game. Win your first real big regular season game to vault you, and then really put you in the driver's seat for doing something special this season, or at least being in the conversation. If you lose right out of the gate, that first game, it's just like such an uphill climb to try and get back into the conversation.
It's just, I mean, I get the numbers huge, but like that's the horseshoe. That's Ohio State. They're the brand that's like
Their quarterback. Yeah.
You know, CJ Stroud, #1 pick next year.
The only good thing about Ohio
potentially.
State is Justin Fields. I'll say it.
Yeah, Ohio State, but I mean Notre Dame. I don't know. I mean, I love Marcus Freeman. I mean, I hate Notre Dame, but I love Marcus Freeman, and I just don't. I couldn't take the points. My friends and I were texting about this yesterday. I'm like, I'm just gonna stay away from that. There's just it's a weird number. I like the hook, the 17.5, but I don't know. Seems like that could get out of hand in a hurry.
Brian Kelly really made a name of just beating up on the teams that they were supposed to beat. Yeah. And losing the teams that they weren't, like they never really went out and, scored a huge upset. I'm really interested to see what Marcus Freeman does. Like that, this is exciting to me. Like I grew up a Notre Dame fan, kind of, drifted away probably the last, 15, 20 years. Brian Kelly had a lot to do with it. I don't like Brian Kelly. And Marcus Freeman, though, I think is an exciting guy. I want to see what he can do with that brand, see what he can do with the campus. So we'll see what he can do on Saturday, but I don't have a lot of hopes for the Irish off the bat. Coming up, we have Scroll Stoppers with Kacy Standohar. We'll be talking about some of the most viral Chicago social moments over the past week. But first, PointsBet Sportsbook is counting down the days until the football season with a new offer every day until the season kicks off. Now, I think they're talking about the professional football season.
Yeah.
From now until September 8th, PointsBet Power Hour will unlock a new daily offer from 12 to 1 Central Standard Time. Sign up for PointsBet now using code CHGO to also get risk-free bets up to $2,000. Don't miss out on your chance to get daily access to free bets, boosted odds, and so much more now through September 8th. But that's not it. If you make a $51 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, including Adam Hogue's Bears Things newsletter. And you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. Now, you can get like this one from the Bears. You can get our new QB one. You can get the Sky, the Bulls, anything. So anyway, download the PointsBet app right now and use the code CHGO to take advantage of this limited time offer. And if you do, we really appreciate it because it helps us grow here at CHGO. Don't just bet, live your bet life with PointsBet. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services.
And once again, I'm showing that beautiful T-shirt that is
sick drip right there.
You know what you should do? Did you see the clip from Greg Braggs on the Saturday night one after he drank the Malort? He just did this thing where it probably should have been our clip of the week. He did the Malort, and then Braggs just did this thing where he went, that's exactly how he sounded.
Okay. Like a tea kettle? Sounded like a tea kettle getting ready to go?
It sounded exactly like a tea kettle, and it probably should be like on our soundboard whenever we put something exciting on screen.
Okay. All right.
You want to know exciting?
Yes.
AG1.
Okay,
yeah.
Here we go.
AG1, exciting? Yeah. Okay. I started taking AG1 because I didn't have time, wanted better gut health, more energy, and optimized immune system. Now I've been on it for 6 months, and oh, do I love it. Now, it doesn't taste super healthy. Instead, it's kind of mild, tropical taste. Look forward to taking it in the morning. Here's what it is. A scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens to get your day right. A special blend of ingredients supporting your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, all of those things. I get a noticeable boost of energy, so I take it first thing in the morning after my Jarish coffee cake, and there I go, giddy up, I'm out the door. Lifestyle friendly too, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, you're all good with AG1. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance for less than $3 a day. $3. That's nothing, folks. It's recommended by professional athletes, more than 7,000 five-star reviews. So right now, reclaim your health, arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. Don't have to take a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs if you're watching the Cubs podcast. CHGO White Sox if you're on the White Sox podcast. You get the idea. Again, Athletic Greens is taking ownership, and it's helping you out. Take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. AG1.
Yeah, Luke, I was going to say thank you for bringing the Jarish Bakery coffee cakes.
And the AG1.
I'm on the CC one, obviously. I've had 1 piece of coffee cake.
That's right. Lawrence got a little extra buzz today.
I didn't even have my coffee yet, though, and I was hoping one of you would bring it for me again.
He's going to crash in like an hour.
No, yeah. Well, I'll eat something else.
Luke did bring in coffee cake for you, right?
Yes, he did, and it's amazing. More than you did for me. Thank you very much. Okay, what's next?
Well, you're after Kevin today. First, he's a diva, and he didn't bring in anything.
It's just fun. It's fun. We share an office. I gotta, it's fun.
I bought Adam a coffee yesterday, and not Lawrence, and it's being brought out to me.
Wait,
so.
you know what's funny though? I
have 2 hands.
No, I'm totally
You weren't
fine
here
with
yet.
that. I'm totally fine. The funny thing is though, is that because you and I both wore that same shirt, I went into the same coffee place that you had just
Like
come out
right
of.
after me.
They didn't say a thing though. I
No.
assumed like the girl would notice, and that's how just they don't care at
The
all. They're just
baristas in
like,
there are a little too cool.
Yeah, a lot of too cool.
Make a great cold brew, though.
Definite. Well, yeah. I mean, they just dump it. Yeah, sure. It was delicious, and I would like another one.
Do you want to do the Kacy introduction? Do you want to do it with your
gosh.
demented Dick Biondi voice?
Well, I think we should just, we'll just go to the old Scroll Stoppers intro video. and
Scroll
that'll work.
Stoppers with Kacy Standohar.
There it is. Look at that. Beep,
I feel like I'm about to get like a massage.
beep. Hey, that works. Whatever. Here we are.
Like a, yeah,
Here we
there
are.
we
I feel like
go.
I'm going into an elevator
Yeah.
at an indie hotel.
It's elevator
Hi,
music.
Yes.
Kacy.
Hi guys, how are you doing
Hello.
today?
Good.
Good. This is good. I'm loving that this is week 2 of our new and improved podcast. I'm really happy that we have some great viewers in here too. We have 157 people
Big number.
in the
Swanky
chat
32.
Yeah, including Don Burr, our resident Lions fan who loves to
hanging out with us.
troll the
Why
Bears
is the
fans.
QB1 shirt under a CHGO baseball? It shouldn't be. We will
That's
look
a
into that, Chaz.
category fail.
Oh man, we just want it up front. Just get it.
Technology.
It's a
You
good
could
shirt.
put if we had a QB1 shirt in Denver, you could put under baseball because Russell Wilson was a baseball player. But
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Big
Let's
money
ride.
for him today, by the way.
huge.
Let's ride.
All right, guys, this is Scroll Stoppers, the things on social media that make you stop scrolling and watch. This is a good moment here. Let's do a good moment. You want the good news or the bad news? We're going to go good news first. Cubs pitcher Marcus Stroman returns to Toronto, where he spent 6 seasons with the Blue Jays. He sees a fan behind home plate in a Stroman Blue Jays jersey, and he's holding up a sign. The fan immediately starts crying when Marcus comes over to him. Just immediate tears, just burst into tears. Stroman ends up signing a ball for him. The kid's so overwhelmed, hugging his mom, giving everybody high fives. Really cool moment. He was just overcome with emotions. And that was a classy move by Stroman, too, to be back there and do that for one of his old fans. Young old fans.
It was cool. A kid, I guess, is from the UK, and he's going to get him tickets when the Cubs go out and play the Cardinals next year in London. He's already said, I'm going to take care of you guys, get you tickets, going to meet up with them again, try and stay in touch.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what professional athletes should be doing. Like, I want to give him tons of credit. Instead, I just back it down to like 80% because everybody should be doing it, but they're
Right.
not. So Marcus Stroman is, and I feel good about that. Anytime I see a player that's willing to be out there signing autographs, meeting players, that's what it's really all about. Like the fans, their relationship with the fans, it's about winning, but acknowledge the fact that you're in a really special place in life.
Yeah.
There's a lot of downsides of social media for athletes because it's a direct pipeline into your mentions. If you blow a save, if you strike out, people are there to and say really bad things about you, your family, anything. But this is the opposite side, and the way this kind of really came about was I think the mom tweeted at him, and he said, "Hey, when you get here, tweet at me, and I will come out of the dugout to come meet you." I mean, that's super
Yeah.
cool.
The fact that he
Yeah.
responded, but you're right,
Yeah.
Luke. It should be the norm. We're really asking for base level stuff from these athletes, so I like that he did that.
It was very nice. It was, I don't know how if I would describe it. It was very personal, and it was
Yes.
a nice display of affection on the baseball
Did
field.
you ever cry when meeting an athlete as a child?
No, I did not.
I think I did.
I don't
either.
think
To
I
be
have
perfectly
either.
honest, no.
I think I'm usually just too scared when I was a kid to be like, whoa,
I didn't
what
really
is that?
meet any athletes when I was a little kid. We were up in the 400, 300 levels, so like I wasn't getting down to meet. I wasn't close
Aw,
enough to the
poor
field.
Luke. He was in the 300
Luke.
level.
I
You
met
think
Ron
he's playing
Kittle
chicken
at like a
nuggets?
McDade's.
Oh yeah,
You remember McDade's? Was that a
Yeah, yeah.
department store? Yeah.
John Candelaria of the Pirates came to one of my Little
Yes.
League games
Great-
once.
great
Candle.
stash.
Was he wearing that cool the hat that was like squared off on the top?
I don't remember. I just
We Are
remember
Family
we could
hat.
see him sitting in the bleachers.
Candyman.
Bob Loblaw in the chat says athletes being human
Stop
beings.
talking nonsense,
We
Lawrence.
like that. Sorry.
You just like saying his last name, blah blah.
Blah blah blah. It's a
it a
quality,
Loblaw?
quality
It's a good name.
Arrested Development name.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next? Anything,
All right,
anything
so
good going on? Is there anything good happening in the world?
Well, this moment will make you cry, maybe for another reason. Not quite a good moment. It's probably
boy.
the most get a room video I've ever seen. This is just PDA taken to an entire new level. You guys may have seen this. Two people just doing the dirty at a
Oh
movie.
my gosh, it's so loud.
2 nights ago, they were way up high at the Rogers Center. The seats around them looked pretty empty. This video has millions of views. You can see they're blurred out
a nightmare.
for obvious
I want to
reasons.
know who did the initial blurring.
Yeah.
Who took this video is what I
Log
want to
TO?
know.
Well, it's
They're on top of
Dimitri
each other.
Karakostas, as it says up top there. Dimitri Karakostas.
So then security found out and they had to awkwardly go apprehend them.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
really,
uncomfy.
like, this is just one of those things, like, go home. Like, what? Why? You know?
Don't they know there's a pandemic going on?
Right.
Still.
I mean, you
Well,
know, said you did it, I guess, literally.
Justin Steele can't get in the ballpark, but these
Look
people
at this
can.
guy. He hates his life
do the
having to go
dirty.
up there. He hates that he has to go do this right now. He is the security guard for
Yeah.
our listeners. He's walking up there, and you can just see
He's in plastic.
everything.
Here's
Yeah,
the thing.
Everything.
This is what I'm worried about, Casey. This is what I'm worried about. We're now into September, and there's going to be even less people at Wrigley Field and at Guaranteed Rate. Chicagoans, please keep the dirty at home. We don't need it in the ballpark. We don't need somebody going up to like behind underneath the Cubs' old scoreboard trying to do it up there. We don't need somebody in the
Oh, that'd be a good
fundamental
place.
zone over at Guaranteed Rate. We don't need anybody doing it up there.
Well, where would you if you were in Chicago and you needed to get your rocks off in one of the stadiums? Where are we going?
No,
Like,
don't.
is this like
Do
a
not.
dare? Did someone dare them to do this? I don't.
You know, Luke, you mentioned the scoreboard at Wrigley. I think that's a good. We are covered up there. I think that's a nice place.
Yeah, but at least that's private.
it's an uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable place, like the back of a Volkswagen.
Can you imagine Wrigley Field? You look up and all you see are two butt
Small
cheeks
restaurant.
coming out of the old scoreboard where like the score's supposed to
A
be.
big round number, Luke.
It's bad. It's bad. We will move on
0-0.
to another kind of disturbing video when you think about it. These two girls enjoying their summer in Chicago a little bit too much decided to jump off one of the bridges. It looks like the LaSalle Bridge. Guys, this is super dangerous. The one looks like they're holding their phone. If you watch it again, the one girl closest to the camera.
I don't think it's a phone.
They're waterproof
I don't
now.
know.
They're
Most of them are
holding her
fairly
phone.
waterproof.
Don't try this at home.
Not sewage proof, but
I just don't want to know what else is in that river besides Dave Matthews' poop.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have two girls at home, and obviously they're going to be going into the social media age, and I'm scared to death about that. But I thought at least they won't be trying to make viral videos of jumping off shit. And apparently now I have to be worried about this.
yeah.
It's really bad. And your girls will not do that, Kevin. That's careless.
Do we know?
Well,
You're
tell
out.
you.
You're out in Chicago. You have a couple drinks. You do dumb things.
let's do a wellness check on these two ladies. By the way, they're not the first. I remember David Dobrik had his friends doing it like a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Lady friends.
No, it was guys that did
Okay.
it, jumped in
Yeah.
when they were in town, and they made a viral video out of it as well. I did the kayak thing, okay? Like 2009.
I've done it. Yeah.
I did the kayak thing in 2009.
Yeah.
I was soaking wet by the time I got out of that river because the paddle's going, you're going like this, it's dripping, it's coming down on you all the time.
Yep.
You know what happened to me? 6 days later, I had mono for the only time in my life, and I was out of work. I lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks.
A little bit of pink eye.
Yeah.
People were so worried about me that David Kaplan's wife baked me a full chocolate cake. I was dropping so much weight at the time.
Wow.
And like, he literally came to my door, gave me a chocolate cake because people thought I wasn't going to make it. They're like, Stucky's not going to make it. And I barely did make it.
Yeah,
Let me tell you, I'm never going back in that river ever again.
When I did the kayaking, I also agree. You get the oars splashing you. I just felt like it was a little bit of a sizzle. I don't know, like a little bit of a burn. I don't know.
So this is the second rowing-related disaster story I've heard from you. And one day on this podcast, I'm going to have you tell your whitewater rafting story. But like, you just need to stay out of all sort of
That's
sea
right.
craft.
I like water, though, and I will say, to combine the story from the ballpark with the story jumping in the river, while I was doing my kayak tour, we stopped right at the split there where it goes like north-south. And you know what we found? Condoms floating, used condoms floating in the water. It was like, well, this is a scenic architectural tour. Don't go in the Chicago River.
Is that a Frank Lloyd Wright condom?
Yeah,
I'm just telling you.
Oh, Goldberg?
It's disgusting, and there are many parts that smell like straight sewage.
Yeah, my girls will know what is actually in that Chicago River. So hopefully, if they're ever wanting to make a viral video, they will remember what their dad told is,
Who knows if TikTok will even be a thing when they're older?
Sure.
Oh my God! Please, let's hope not. Good God.
And the top.
Coming from the social media, I hope not. A social media expert here.
Yeesh.
All right, guys, this one is fun. Last night, Timmy Trumpet finally came out to play the actual
Are we watching
closer
this?
song for Edwin Diaz.
I've literally been singing this for the last hour
so
in my head.
So in my head.
So let's see if we can get this to play here.
Gets ready to
Now,
come
my favorite part about this is right
Looking
here,
for a save.
in like 2 seconds here. Watch the screen.
Timmy sneaking
Whoa!
up.
They go like movie, like wide angle there.
Yeah, he's
Great
being very
work by SNY there.
quiet about it. The build up, really. A lot of build up.
Yeah, but it's so good. Okay.
Oh yeah, all the cameras coming out.
Yeah.
Watching on
Dumb
YouTube.
part, obviously.
Every jackass in the stand has their iPhone out.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There it is.
There we go.
So the director actually nails this. He gets the first shot, he gets the second shot, he gets this shot with the trumpet guy, and then all of a sudden he just shows the boring ass fans in the stands.
Yes, let's go.
Lawrence, I've been preaching this to the Cubs guys. This is what I want when I enter the set every show. I want this or I want Top Gun. I want this or Top Gun.
It's so fun. Can't deny it.
No, it's worth it, man. It's worth it, you know? This is amazing. Timmy Trumpet. I mean, the Mets are terrible, but this is
The Mets are good this year. That's why they're excited about this. But they've been doing this since last year. So
is there any truth to the rumor that one or both of the Toronto couple came out to this music?
I don't know.
I think they should have, right?
Like you said, it would be much cooler if everyone wasn't so glued to their phones and people were actually like cheering along with it and being loud.
That's what I did say on Twitter. Like, put the phones down, let's cheer. Like, let's, you think of Major League, you think of Wild Thing Vaughn coming out, how everyone was going nuts. Come on, Mets fans, stop. You don't put this on. Like, we have SNY filming this. Make a better clip for us by going
crazy.
crazy.
There's definitely better videos than this one, that's for sure.
I'm just saying, like, it is pretty hyped. It's pretty good. It's not as good as Mariano Rivera, but it's got more. It's got a little more flair than Mariano Rivera. Like, I love Metallica. That was great, and he was the all-time greatest. But this is nice. The Cubs or Sox need a little something like this. Like, Go Cubs Go is fun after the game, but in-game experience.
Do you think that would work at Wrigley Field?
Oh, yeah, it would. If they would have played that, like, for Carlos Marmol, boom, people would have been. What about Big Z every time he came out to the mound?
Where do they come out? They come out of a door now? And
yeah, now they run out from, like, left center field. So
Used to say, what was the sign that used to be on that door? Was that Torco? No, that was not Torco.
I feel like it would work a little bit better at the cell.
Yeah, they do those. They got the lights now at the
The
cell
lights
that turn
help.
off.
You
which
need
I
flashing
hate.
lights.
Like,
Yeah.
that's just like you're causing people problems.
I
you know?
don't like the
It's-
flashing
the
lights.
flashing
No, I
lights
like
is
it.
weird.
That's terrible.
You remember in
gets me
2005 when Shingo Takatsu was briefly
Yes.
the closer and he came out to a gong?
Yes.
I don't know. At that point we didn't ask if it was offensive or not. Like, it may or may not. It may have been by his request.
Could have been his
know.
idea. The guy Bautista, the closer in Baltimore, has been walking out to the whistle Farmer in the Dell by
that's awesome.
Omar from The Wire.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work as well as you want it to. When I heard that he was doing that, I was like, oh my God, this is way better than Timmy Trumpet. But then you watch it and you're like, doesn't work.
Matthew
my
said,
Top Gun.
summer of 21 when Kimbrel came out to Sweet Child of Mine was absolutely electric during his amazing stretch.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool.
Remember
What would
that
you
stretch?
Casey, what would you come out to?
Oh, Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison.
Oh, wow. That's
It would also
something.
be my walk-up song, too, for batting.
I've got a
Okay.
bunch of ideas.
Okay.
I've been pitching this for a long time that I want a studio walk-in song. I want either the Star Wars song. It could be the Imperial March if you want. I don't care.
Yes.
I want Eminem. What's that? One Opportunity, One Shot. What's the name of that song?
Yeah,
Mom
that's the one.
spaghetti.
Lose yourself?
Yeah.
Yep.
Lose
Lose
Yourself.
Yourself. I want Lose Yourself. I thought of what about maybe I can't get this music. I've done the Top Gun one. What about the sexy saxophone guy?
Yes.
Oh,
You know who
Sexy
I'm talking
Sax.
about?
I love that YouTube.
Look that up on the internet.
Timmy
Amazing.
Trumpet,
See, now,
Sexy Sax.
If the Cubs were smart or the Sox, they would do a spoof of them when they play the Mets the next time, and you bring out the sexy saxophone guy,
That's
and he
a great
starts
idea.
playing for somebody coming
Baker
in from the
Street by
outfield.
Jerry Rafferty.
Okay,
is
hold
that
on.
who's
Wait a
playing?
minute. I have to tell my story now.
Okay.
I was in Vegas for my bachelor party, and we were at a day spa, if you will. It was very nice. We
A
were
day
having-
spa?
Ooh.
Is
Is that what they call them now?
It was the Sapphire Day Spa. I don't know if you've heard of the Sapphire for other reasons, but it was the
I've
day
heard of the
spa.
Spearmint Rhino Day Spa.
Sure, that
More of
would
a
have
night
worked as
spa.
well. Anyways, you're missing the point. So we're sitting there chilling on some nice cold drinks, caipirinhas, whatever you have. And next thing you know, Baker Street, what you just mentioned, my favorite Jerry Rafferty song, starts
Is that
playing.
the only Jerry Rafferty song?
Foo
No,
Fighters? Baker
no,
Street
not at
Foo
all.
Fighters?
Hold on. Slow down, y'all.
Sorry.
So they start playing Baker Street. We're like, oh, my God, this is great. They're playing Baker Street. I love Baker Street. All of a sudden, the dude walks out of the DJ booth. He's playing the sax. It was like the best.
That is
It was
cool.
the best. Oh, my God. What a time.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sexy saxophone guy would be a spoof for one of our teams. I'm just throwing it out there, guys. I got ideas. I am an idea guy. I don't always execute.
Matt weighing in again. As long as no one's song is Juliana Zobrist iteration of Benny and the Jets, we're all good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed,
Luke, we might be
Matthew.
able to get copyright for that.
Two
for
good
you.
takes there.
Yeesh.
All right, guys. We have our CHGO clip of the week next. This was really cool. On Tuesday, our CHGO Blackhawks crew got to paint center ice, the logo, at the United Center. Jay, Mario, Greg, and myself painted sort of the neck and chin area, the logo. So we were the first ones out there. It was really a surreal experience. I know they all really enjoyed it. We love this Here Come the Hawks song. Kind of watch them do it. We had to make our mark, put our CHGO letters on the ice.
Okay, so this is cool, but I will say, after this, I'm going to be sending an invoice to the Blackhawks for using our employees to do their work for them.
Right, and
Yes.
not very close to the lines, guys.
Yeah, they were like, the guys were really nervous because they thought it was just going to be like, I don't know, a small area somewhere else. And we're doing like the center ice logo. They wouldn't let us do the blue line, obviously.
Yeah.
Might be crooked.
It's
And
yeah.
they wouldn't let us do like the headdress, the feathers. Very intricate spots there, but it was a really cool experience. I know the guys thought it was surreal. They were a little bit nervous at first, but the logo was sketched out for us, and they told us that no matter what, if we mess up and make some weird paint strokes, the professionals will come in and fix it up and do another layer. So don't worry.
Is that
come
just
October,
like Benjamin Moore paint? Like something they got at Home
I
Depot?
think so.
Sherwin-Williams?
It didn't look anything different
Okay.
than normal paint. It was like in a big box. I was nervous to do it too.
So if they send an email to the Blackhawks and say, hey, can you just if you want to know what it's like to like sell beer on a game night, just say no, Casey, all right?
This is all part.
Yeah, seriously. Hey, you want to come check out how we do concessions?
All right, this is all.
You want to park some cars?
I didn't want to be the guy. I didn't want to be the guy to say it. This is all part of the rebuild. They
Yeah.
were like, who can we get to paint the ice? You know what? Let's start calling some media outlets. We'll do that. And the next thing you know, Casey's out doing the third shift of the game. She's going to be out there skating with the third
Yeah.
line.
Good.
I mean,
She's on
she
the
probably
third
could be a
pairing.
third liner in this team. It's possible.
It was fun, and I know that the guys, as big Blackhawks fans, really appreciated it. It was just a cool experience, something different that, kind of
very
leaving
cool.
our mark on the United Center. You walk
And
in there, and it
Literally.
I mean, hockey season's always great, right? It's not going to be a great Blackhawks season, but
Right.
it's kind of fun to see the ice getting up there, knowing the United Center is going to be open again for not only the Blackhawks, but the Bulls. So I'm pretty ready. I mean, I'm ready. Let's go.
yeah.
That's
Cubs,
cool.
the Cubs and
experience.
Sox have checked out. So
What if Timmy Trumpet comes to a Blackhawks game? Have we done away with Chelsea Dagger?
Oh, we should.
That could replace Chelsea Dagger.
I like the Here Come the Hawks song
Next
better.
generation.
Do they still play the Here Come the Hawks on the organ?
they do. They play
Yeah.
way too much canned music now, but
Yeah.
you still
Foo
you
Fighters.
still hear the organ
Lot of Pearl
cranking that
Jam.
out. A lot of Pearl Jam.
Rock
Well,
you
guys,
like a hurricane.
that is Scroll Stoppers. So thanks for enjoying that with me, talking through all those fun videos. If you have any cool videos, or if you like the video we posted from CHGO Blackhawks, any of our content, follow us at CHGO Sports on Twitter, on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook. You can find us there and follow along.
One quick question, Casey.
Sure.
Who's most likely in this building at CHGO to jump off of a bridge into the river?
Oh, that's a good question.
Who would be the person if we had to be like, hey, you know what? We're going to get a viral video, and one of our jackasses
Sean.
is going to
Yes,
jump in the Chicago.
it's
Sean
Sean
Anderson.
Anderson.
Sean
Yeah.
Anderson's the guy.
Sean
Yeah.
_W_.
The man shaved his head in the very chair I'm sitting
Yeah.
in.
He
Yeah,
did
the
not
hair's still
care.
there.
Yeah,
A close second might be maybe Sarah would do it. Maybe Matt Peck. I don't know.
Peck.
Peck doesn't want to ruin
Interesting.
those Moses sandals he wears.
I would say Kacy would be the least likeliest.
Oh,
to
for
do it.
sure.
Yeah,
For sure. Never.
never go in there. Well, apparently Luke too.
I am number one. There,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of us
couldn't pay
tied
me
for
$1 million
last.
to jump in that river.
Yeah.
Almost killed me.
$1 million, you do it for $1 million.
I would not do it for $1 million.
I would
Jump in the Chicago River? No chance.
How deep is it?
Yeah, that's my question. Are you going to run into the
I just don't wanna
Lusitania?
get hurt.
What's the ship that sank down there? What is the ship? Not the Lusitania. What the
I
hell
saw
is the
somebody
ship?
on Twitter for
Not
that
the,
video
not the
say,
Lusitania.
What
No.
the hell is the ship? That horrible thing.
Yeah,
Somebody
something
on-
land.
somebody on Twitter for that video said first they did shots, then they did tetanus shots.
Correct.
Let me tell you, tetanus shot ain't going to cover it.
I
Not
want
gonna
to
do
know
it.
in the comments, people watching, listening, would
how-
you do it for $1 million? Would you do it for $10?
All right, $1 million, I've changed my mind. I'm willing to have mono for $1 million, but
Yeah.
for $1,000, no way. $1,000, no chance.
That should be a poll question we do on Twitter. How
$5
much money
grand,
would you
no.
jump in the Chicago River for?
$20,000, no. $100,000, no.
I think I would do it for $100,000.
Wait, hold on. What did you say? $20.
Sarah said she would
Sarah's
do it
in.
for $20.
Sarah's in.
Wait a minute, Sarah, you
Yikes.
would do it again for $20 or just do it? Oh, I thought she said she would do it again.
That wasn't her in the video.
We didn't really see the second jumper there as much.
Yeah,
that's
could have
true.
been her.
Yeah, could have
Could have
been.
been Sarah.
All right, thanks for stopping by, Kacy. We'll see you next Thursday.
Thanks, guys.
In the meantime, I have to tell you about Owen, which stands for Only What You Need. Owen is a 100% plant-based protein shake that gives you nutrition that works as hard as you do. All their products are free of artificial ingredients, allergen-friendly, no gluten or dairy, and easily digestible. I first heard about Owen from Chicago Bears quarterback Justin Fields, who follows a plant-based diet. Owen and CHGO have partnered up to give you an awesome offer. You can get 20% off your first purchase at liveowen.com. That's liveown.com. And you use the code CHGO20, you get 20% off your first purchase. Go get yourself some strawberry banana, cookies and cream. It's really the best plant-based protein shake that I've tasted. So check it out. Join me and Justin Fields and try Owen. Only what you need.
Delicious.
All right.
Is it time for Stuck and Duck?
It's time for Stuck and Duck.
Well, in that case, let's play the video because by popular demand, I changed it. I was the only one that thought it should be Duck and Stuck based on where you're sitting, but we're going Stuck and Duck. It sounds better.
Today's Stuck Duck.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you give him a new nickname already, though? What was it? Not Duck. It was
Diva
what?
Duck. Diva Duck.
Diva Duck.
Even
Yeah.
Duck. Thick Elvis.
Thick
Rockabilly
Elvis.
youth pastor.
Stupid
Yes.
Stuck and Diva Duck.
Welcome, guys. So it's Stuck and Duck, even though on the screen it's Duck
Right.
and Stuck. Whatever. That's fine. That's fine.
So it looks like we are in the middle of what is one of the most disappointing White Sox seasons of all time, if not the most disappointing Sox season. They came in. We thought the AL Central was probably a birthright. It's not turning out that way. They're chasing the Guardians, and the Twins.
That'll be a buck.
That's $1. But I wanted to ask you, Luke, like what in terms of most disappointing Chicago sports seasons, is this Sox season on the top 5? If not, what does that top 5 look like?
Well, I knew this was coming, so I put together kind of a list. I didn't go top 5 or top 10, but I started going through disappointments in my life. I mean, 84 Cubs were a huge disappointment at the end. Like, that was heartbreak, just like, 2003 heartbreak. But if you're talking about, like, the whole season and everything, like, boy, this White Sox team is bad.
Yeah.
Real bad. Like, they're not only not going to win the World Series, they're not even 500 at this point. So that's putting them in the conversation.
It's such a
for top
unique
5.
recipe because the expectations were so high. The Sox have been down for so long, and it seemed like everything was building up with this rebuild to peaking here in 2022, 2023, 2024. And they still might be able to kind of retool, but it's going to take a lot. And with how much they've bottomed out right now, it's like there's so many things that they need to fix. So I think the disappointment on the South Side, just from a season-long, for 4 months, the Sox crew here at CHGO has just been basically like poking with the stick saying, hey, do something, and they haven't.
Yeah.
Now, traditionally with Chicago sports disappointments, it's like the 1986 Bears,
Yes.
faltering because Jim McMahon couldn't stay healthy, and
But they were good during the regular season.
were amazing.
They lost in the playoffs.
their defense was just as good as
Yeah.
1985, if not better. You mentioned the 1984 Cubs. Now, I don't know if that Cubs team would have beat that Tigers team because that Tigers team was also historically great.
But 85 Cubs then
Right.
4th place in the division. They just plummeted after that. So that
The
was
84
one.
White Sox kind of did the same thing. 2004 Cubs.
Yeah.
Now, that
You went from almost in the World Series to Bartman to Kent Merker calling up and trying to get Steve Stone fired. Like it went off the tracks real fast.
But they still had, I mean, they lost 7 of their last 9 games in 2004. Now,
Yeah.
I don't going back, I thought they were in the race for the division. That team was still 16 games behind the Cardinals, which I don't, I've conveniently blocked from my memory, but you still kind of thought if they got into the playoffs, they had the pitching staff. They certainly would have had to make some noise, but they just imploded in the last few weeks. You brought up a couple Bulls teams.
Yeah, well, obviously the first time Michael retired was a huge disappointment. That was like the letdown of all letdowns. You watch it, and then they lose to the Knicks Game 7 in the playoffs. So that season was like, a dagger to the heart. The second time around, at least you knew it was coming. But, I mean, it was the end of the end. There was no Scotty. There was no Michael. There was no Phil. And you got Tim Floyd, and what did they win, like 13 games, I think?
Oh, Tim Floyd.
So you went from 6 championships to winning 13 games with Tim Floyd. So even though you knew it was coming, that's like getting kicked in the crotch 100 times. Even if you know it's coming, it's still going to hurt. And that hurt real bad, and it still does. So now 06 White Sox were a disappointment. They finished in 3rd place. 17 Cubs, not really a disappointment because they went back to the NLCS for me. Like that was still
2006
very enjoyable.
White Sox were interesting because they had a pretty good first half.
Yeah.
And then the Twins just caught fire. Like Francisco Liriano just kind of came out of nowhere and was amazing that second half. They had Johan Santana, and then Cleveland was also very good. So
I got one. What about year 2 for the Bears under Matt Nagy? Like they go 12-4 the first year. You get the double doink, which starts just the unraveling of the franchise, and then they come back. They're 8-8. They still have a shot at making the playoffs, even though they're no good.
Yeah.
And the Packers beat them on a gimme play, and you're like, and really, it's never been the same since. The double doink is like clearly the mark of the franchise. Where you're like, wow, did it go downhill fast?
The weird dividing line in 2019 was them going to London, Matt Nagy getting in there on Thursday for some reason, them not being prepared at all, and then losing the Raiders' revenge game against Khalil Mack. So 2019 was definitely a letdown because
because even after the double doink, that was the disappointment of the previous season, but still they were 12-4 and they made the playoffs, and you thought, you know what? This gadget guy's got something. The visor guy's got a game plan for this. They're going to turn it around.
It looks like a Denny's menu, but he's got a game plan.
Right? He had the visor. He's rocking it.
2018 was a lot of fun until the end.
Right? Club dub, the boom, and all that stuff. And I thought, well, the double doink's not going to be a problem. That was just a step. Every team has a stepping stone. And then what you got was the next season. And
and
it went quickly.
This comment from the chat, that double doink took the life out of everything.
It did.
Jack Brown mentioned the 18 Cubs as an option. What about the 2018 Cubs?
Take your pick from any of the post-title Cubs, right? I mean,
it's kind of like the Blackhawks, right? Since 2016 now, right?
Well, they couldn't repeat, but at least they were still good like the next following years. But after their last championship, anything since then has been, I mean, boy, you could count last year. You want to talk about disappointments, but you wait till this season, folks.
2014 Blackhawks losing in 7 of the Kings.
Yeah.
That was a rough.
You know what?
It was disappointing, but it was still exciting.
And I couldn't get mad at that Kings team because they played just like the Hawks. It was almost like watching a mirror of yourself. And so, I respected that the Kings did that. That was
losing to the Blues.
We actually, like, for our older viewers, we haven't talked about probably the most disappointing team of all time, the 1969 Cubs. I mean, for the longest time, the generation just above us, Luke. I mean, that was really the bellwether. They were up 9 games on August 16th and finished 8 games behind the New York Mets.
Yeah, the black cat runs out to the on-deck circle, and that was their double doink.
In terms of collapses, I mean, good Lord.
it was.
So
I'm glad I wasn't alive for that one.
the Sox didn't really never built anything to collapse this year, so I don't know what's worse.
I don't know. The expectations were just
Yeah, Dale's like he says the 2022 White Sox season.
2022 White Sox. That's the worst for the White Sox. That to me, that's worse than
Yeah.
06 finishing in third place after you won the World Series. Because a lot of people know after you win the World Series, it's tough to do it the next season. You've played way longer into the season. You've played more games. It just doesn't happen that often. But this team had everything. And from the offseason when they didn't add anybody, so like offseason all the way up to right now, the whole thing's been one big poop show. Just take the poop emoji off the internet and put it right there because that's what it's been. It's been
Dale brings up the 92 Blackhawks, which is a good one because they made a run. They finally kind of make themselves the class of the Campbell Conference, and then they run into Mario Lemieux and a young Jaromir Jagr, and that was the sweep in 4 games.
Sweep.
So.
That was not fun.
It almost seems like apples and oranges though with this 22 White Sox team because like they were never good, nothing ever got going.
But I mean, they should have been. It's just they're set up to do it.
They still. I mean, the Sox coming into this year still had a lot of holes. Like you didn't feel like they had really.
I mean, they needed
put
a right
themselves up
fielder
into
and a
the class of the Astros or the Yankees.
But they were still easily a top 5 choice to win the World Series everywhere. Everybody had him at least in the top 5 teams that could win the World Series.
I think my buddy Jeff Passan picked him to win the World Series this year, didn't he?
Guys,
Yeah,
they might be
them
third place.
against the
looking like
Dodgers.
third place in their division. Potentially, arguably, the worst division in baseball. I mean, come on.
Well, there's still time, Luke. It's still an entire month of September.
You know what they need?
2 games in October.
You know what they
never
need?
know.
Timmy Trumpet.
Timmy
Trumpet.
It's September. The calendar turn. Let's
That's
bring
right.
Timmy
Every
Trumpet
game,
to Chicago.
hire him. Steal him from the Mets.
You don't
This
need
seems
Timmy,
like a
just
good
have
place
me.
to. I'm gonna be
Give me that music
singing.
again.
I'm
Can
gonna
I
be
get
like
that music again?
humming that song for the rest of the freaking day, Lawrence.
It's
your
an amazing
fault.
song. How about this from I think this Black Dank one? I'm not sure what that is. What about when D Rose got injured?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great call.
Yeah, because that
The energy just sucked out of the building.
Yes.
It's amazing. Like there's just this mountain, and there's so many disappointments that you can actually just forget
Wow.
D Rose getting hurt like that, right?
Wow, I didn't even think of D Rose. That's
Yeah.
because that team.
that almost trumps the Jordan stuff. I don't know. Jordan retiring, at least they were really good without him that first season, but you still knew it wasn't. That was still a gut punch.
Yes,
All
it
right.
was.
D Rose was a bad one.
To better days behind Justin Fields ahead, Luke. That's
Yes.
all I'm saying. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us here on the Chicago Sports Podcast this week. We will be back next Thursday at 11 a.m., so make sure you come on back. Make sure you're hitting that like button, giving us a good review, telling your friends. We're building something fun here, having a good time. See you next Thursday.
And we're just going to just play this for a couple minutes here before we go because, we already got the copyright claim, so might as well just keep going with it. Oh, yeah. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Da-da.